Weight Watchers now offers access to affordable GLP-1s.
Weight Watchers has everything I need, from weight loss medications to nutrition support and help with my side effects.
With our program, our members are losing more weight with expert nutrition and side effect support.
Weight Watchers prescribing GLP-1 medications. It's been life-changing.
Better results, expert support, lose more weight, make it last. Get started for as low as $25 at WeightWatchers.com.
All medications require eligibility and prescription. First month as low as $25 with a 12-month Med Plus plan. Does not include the cost of GLP-1 medications.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Robots Radio. Games, lore, stories, community. Just press play. Welcome to the Fallout Lorecast, the podcast that explores the boundaries of our knowledge about the world of Fallout. Happy holidays, everybody. It's getting further into December, and all sorts of fun things are happening, like Cyberpunk's coming out really soon, and I know that has nothing to do with Fallout, but I'm super excited. But we're back. We're for a regular episode of the Fallout Lorecast. I'm your host, Tom, or Robots, and my confused-looking companion over here is Lainey, or Neos Pandora. Lainey, what's going on? How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Good.
Like usual.
Yeah, you're having some technical difficulties trying to figure some stuff out?
Yeah, I'm very bright right now. I'm trying to figure out how to...
Oh, you're not naturally ghostly white? That's not your normal color?
You would think so by the number of streams I do at this hour that I am ghostly whiten.
All right, well... welcome back. Welcome also to everybody who is tuning in live on Twitch, twitch.tv/robotsradio. And this week we are digging into another settlement that you can find in the capital wastes of Fallout 3. And we talked about this a little bit last time. Lainey, what are we digging into this week?
We are digging into Tenpenny Tower this week.
Tenpenny Tower, not Ninepenny Tower. Not 11-penny tower, and definitely not 12-penny tower, 10-penny tower, because it is another settlement that is, let's just say, doesn't appreciate the ghouls very much.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of got a thing going on with that.
Not at all.
Not at all. So we're going to be digging into that stuff. I also was planning to do some news at the end of the episode like we did last week, but turns out that there's not a ton of news, because the news is actually that on the 10th, which is the day after most of you will be listening to this, they're going to, is that language? They're going to be having a big reveal about some stuff up and coming, and we don't know what that is yet. So we're kind of on the fence there, but it's kind of a, not a whole lot of news before the big reveal. But there's been like double points going on in Fallout 76, and there'll be double XP and that stuff coming up. So definitely a good time to jump back in and do that stuff. But let's get ready to talk about our topic, Tenpenny Tower. All right, Lainey. So what's the deal with Tenpenny Tower?
Oh, which deal? There's so many.
What's the main deal? Who is
the main deal?
What is going on? Who is over there? What are they doing?
Who's over there? What are they doing? Okay, so Tenpenny Tower, it's one of the settlements in Fallout 3. So in the Capital Wasteland in 2277, you can stumble across Tenpenny Tower, or you can come across it a couple other ways. It's west of the DC ruins, and it's near Robco's main production facility, so it's not really hidden. You're likely to see it. It's very tall. It's actually one of the tallest buildings in-game, and it's unique because it has its own music in the lobby, which most other areas do not have.
I didn't even realize that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's a really cool location. It's canonically built on the foundations of a plantation. And it's a cool building. Lots of people wonder if it's been inspired by other real life buildings, since so much of the Capital Wasteland is, and it's not. But they have confirmed that it's actually lightly inspired by Fiddler's Green, which is a skyscraper from the movie Land of the Dead.
Oh, so it's another movie reference, because we know there's a lot of movie references in Fallout.
Yes.
In fact, a very early episode I had Stuart on, who I've now been doing the Dungeons and Dragons Lorecast with, and he talked about all the movie influences. But I hadn't heard of that one being a movie influence. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really neat, and it kind of plays into the whole ghoul underworld spooky vibe, right? Which is fun and definitely makes sense if we look into what all is going on here. Before the war, it was a resort for wealthy people to stay at, and honestly, not too different from what it is now. After the war, we have good old Alistair Tenpenny, who was an Englishman. He's not even from America. Who knows how he got here?
Probably on a boat or a plane. That would be my guess.
But I mean, it's 2277. What is he doing here? It's a little strange. Anyway, he's an Englishman and he's an entrepreneur. So he's a very, very fancy pants smart man, or at least he thinks so. And you have him, you have his right man, Mr. Burke, who you meet in Moriarty's saloon. We talked about him in the Megaton episode.
Yeah, he's the one who gives you the deal and says, listen, buddy, I got some work for you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they have a Protectron called Shakes, which you can also meet in the tower. So back before the tower became a settlement, the three of them discovered it and went inside.
It's one of the tallest standing buildings in the wasteland, or at least this part of the wasteland. Can you actually claim to have discovered it, or maybe you're just the ones who were the first ones to brave going inside and claiming it as your own, right?
They definitely claimed it, know, if nothing else. And they had a group of mercenaries with them, and they went inside and found that it was full of feral ghouls, which they very quickly cleaned out, and discovered while they were in there that it still had uncontaminated water that they could use and drink from. Which is a very rare find in the wasteland. So they were like, well, this is a good place. It's a big, sturdy building. We cleared it out. We're going to turn it into a home. So they, started setting it up. Which is pretty cool. They, Uh-oh.
We're getting some cutouts. We're having internet issues. Lainey, come back to me. Come back to me, Lainey. Lainey, are you there? She's stuck. Oh, she's moving again. Hey, are you back?
Hello? Hi,
You're back.
I am back. I didn't realize I was gone.
Yeah, you kind of went, and then we're stuck for a while. So go back. So we had a question about the water. Can we go back to the water?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So the water's clean? How is the water clean?
The water is clean. I'm not sure how the water is clean, but the water is clean. There's no radiation in it. That's part of the appeal of Tenpenny Tower, is that you could be there and drink the water and exist kind of outside of the radiation.
Yeah, and what's also odd is that the tower wasn't demolished. It is like the only standing tower.
Intact.
So I have to wonder if it had some sort of, I don't know, magical field around it. Like, how does that work? Like, it's like the land the tower is on is not irradiated somehow. The water is not like, are they pulling water out of the ground? If they're pulling groundwater out and cleaning it, then it's still going to be irradiated.
They might have their own. Did they have their own system? Their own
system of water that maybe they had a radiation cleaning system. I don't know. That's a really good question, right? It could be down to geology. Yeah, I don't know.
It's partially. I mean, it was a place where very wealthy people would go. They definitely had a lot of money coming in. They probably could have afforded to have their own water source, separate of
water system,
public water system. Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know where you would get the clean water, because that's the whole premise of Fallout 3 is like, how do we get clean water, right?
Apparently Tenpenny Tower has it.
I guess they have it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. They also have electricity, but it wasn't still there. It was siphoned from the DC metro station, which does still work. It still has electricity. Mm-hmm. And so they turned it, with the water and the electricity, they've turned it into basically a real place that comes off as pretty pre-war as far as you could get, which which is really neat.
Yeah, it's still kind of dirty and crappy and old looking, but
it's definitely dirty and crappy and old looking.
Water and electricity, that's a good start.
Yeah, and the decor is all fancy. It was already a place where people would live and visit, so it's full of beds and all the kinds of furniture you would need for a living situation, which is really nice. So it's very convenient that they found this, and it worked as well as it did. They started, if you look at Tenpenny Tower, it has the giant fence around it, those giant walls, which is a theme with a lot of settlements. They have to keep it safe. And so in order to keep the tower really safe and sturdy, they actually not only built the wall around it, but they barricaded the tower itself with steel. Mm-hmm. So this place is pretty solid.
Structurally sound. Yeah.
Very structurally sound, mostly just to keep ghouls out. So they definitely don't allow... There's a couple ways you can get in. Tenpenny would let traders come in, and he would let people with lots of caps come in.
Right.
If you were anyone else, you're not allowed. But he really doesn't like ghouls at all. None of these people do. And yet there are ghouls with them that are assisting them, but of course it's a pretty bad system. They're essentially enslaved. Which is awful. It's pretty bad, but they are very prejudiced against ghouls in Tenpenny Tower. What else?
Yeah, that's one of the main themes of the storylines that come about in Tenpenny Tower is the whole. Yeah. It's not really exploitation of ghouls, but it's the the unfair. What's the word I'm looking for? Unfair treatment of ghouls. The when you treat somebody bad just because they're different than you. Mistreatment.
They treat them. It's inhumane the way that they treat them. Yeah. Because they don't regard them as human. Not just the feral ones, but the non-feral ones, the ones that can interact with them.
Right.
They don't like. And part of that, it's really dark, of course, and sad. And what's interesting is one of the ghouls that you encounter in Tenpenny Tower. I don't have his name written down, so I can't remember it. But he was a resident of Tenpenny Tower back before the war. He was wealthy. He was the kind of person that Tenpenny would have wanted there, but now he's a ghoul, so he's stuck there and essentially enslaved.
Right. I do recall that. That is, it is one of the, I can't remember their name, but it is one of the characters that you meet, and you find out what kind of person Tenpenny is. This idea that you were included until now all of a sudden you're not one of us anymore, and so you are not included anymore. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's also one of the first places outside of, say, Megaton. You meet Gob, was that his name? In the bar at Megaton. And I remember if Fallout 3 is your first Fallout, that's usually the first ghoul you meet. And you kind of go, okay, this is a little bit weird. This guy's a little bit, what's going on with him? Oh, he seems to be a nice guy. People seem mistrusting of him. Okay, maybe ghouls are nice people. But Tenpenny Tower is one of the first locations, at least that I came across, where I interacted with a ghoul society. I didn't come across the underworld like we talked about last week until much later on. So Tenpenny Tower, especially because it stands out on the horizon. You can see it. It's a thing that you can travel to because you see it on the horizon. Was a place where I went. And then when you meet the ghouls and you find out oh, these are people. And not only are these people, but they weren't always ghouls. And you start to kind of unravel that situation of these used to be more normal people that I would have interacted with, more normal, quote unquote, at least starting out human people that have now turned into ghouls potentially. So it's an interesting location to come across, especially if it's the first time you've played a Fallout game.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a good introduction to ghouls. It was my first Fallout game, and between Gob and then you slowly encounter more and more, not just the feral ones. That was really cool for me. I didn't know anything about them at all. And we all love a good story. So Tenpenny Tower is neat. It has all of the basic Fallout settlement areas in it. It has shops. It has a bar. So it's got a couple of shops. It has the Boutique Le Chic, the Cafe Boumon.
Boutique Le Chic. Oh.
Hold on.
Wait. Hold on. You do it. and then I'll do
No.
it. You do it again.
No.
Come on, dude.
I just did it. It's in there.
I think you said Han. I'm not going to make fun of you.
Well, that's how people write
That's how you spell it. Right.
I know, it's so funny. 'Twas a joke, Dad.
'Twas a joke, Fidel. Mon père. Mon père. Omelette de fromage. Okay, enough with the French stuff. All right, so
Yours is impeccable.
it's Pepe Le Pew. That's the only reason I can do that accent.
Perfect.
All right. Sorry, where were we at?
Shops.
Oh, okay.
So we have the Boutique Le Chic. We have Cafe Beaumont. We have Gustavo's Armory. And we have New Urban Appeal. So these are the shops that you can go to. One of them, Boutique Le Chic, actually has the schematics for a dart gun. Ooh. If you're interested in that, you can buy it from, there's two people who work there. One of them has it, I think, before you blow up Megaton, if you do. And one of them has it afterwards. So you can buy it twice. If you want to buy the schematics twice.
Okay.
Up to you. But they're available. It's an interesting little thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then there's a bar, so it's called the Federalist Lounge, and the bartender is actually good old Shakes the Protectron that was there in the founding of the place.
Yeah.
And then of course you have a clinic, so the wellness center is the clinic there. So you get all the basic Fallout Settlement things. You got your shops, you got your bar, you got your clinic, you got your various living quarters. You can steal from the shops, of course. You know, they have a safe that you can steal from. You can steal some merchandise kind of laying around. You can pickpocket the people there. But if you steal too much, or even if you just steal enough at one time, they'll leave. They'll decide, they'll express their concern about the security, and they will leave, and you can no longer buy their goods.
I don't think I ever ran into that. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
sometimes there's these tiny mechanics, these kind of very specific mechanics like that. Like not every vendor will do that, but some vendors in a specific area will, you know, and so you don't know to try it out until you run across it or read about it somewhere. And you're like, oh, wait, I guess that's a thing. Or you just run across it in one place and then you assume everyone else will do the same thing, even if they won't. It's one of the interesting details about these games is how they aren't necessarily consistent with little details like that.
And I like, you know, you see the same thing with Megaton, just that you can lose access to something major, right? If let's say you're living in Tenpenny Tower and that's like your base, you keep going back to it, and then suddenly you can't buy anything anymore because you goofed and you stole too much.
Right.
And Megaton's gone. You've lost both of those places. What do? You know?
You go to live with Three Dog. That's what you do.
I mean,
he seems like a cool guy.
He's a pretty cool guy. So when you're exploring the tower, it has 3 levels you can really go on. The first being the lobby that has access to the shops and all of that stuff. The second being the 3rd floor, which is where you'll find other people living. And then the last being the penthouse, which you gain access to if you do blow up Megaton. And on the penthouse floor, your balcony is shared with Alistair Tenpenny. And so sometimes you can still find him sitting out there with his rifle, just overlooking the wasteland, keeping tabs on things,
just hanging
looking
out
for the next blemish to blow up, you know.
Yeah.
So something you'll notice on your first visit to Tenpenny Tower, no matter how you get there or where you are in other quest lines, is that there are non-feral ghouls that are attempting to get inside and are consequently denied, and they express to you and to each other that this is something that happens often. You have a couple options of what to do about them. Tenpenny despises them. He refers to them attempting to get into the tower as his ghoul problem, and will ask you to try and solve it. And there's a couple ways you can resolve this issue. The first one is the side quest Tenpenny Tower, where you can either start it with the residents of the tower, or you could start it with the ghouls themselves if you go talk to their leader, Roy Phillips. where on either end they'll ask you to kind of resolve it. And for the people in the tower, that means killing the ghouls.
Right.
And for the ghouls, that means coming to a peaceful negotiation where you can kind of let them in.
Oh no, we lost Lainey again. Lainey's internet is the best thing that's ever happened in the world of technology. But she will be back in just a second. I'm here. You're back. So so I want to expand upon some of the stuff that we talked about earlier in the fact that this may be one of the first times you run into ghouls and actually have to interact with them. And because that's the case, I'm curious about this for our listeners, for those of you live right now and those listening at home. I'm curious about this. When you played Fallout 3, if you were new to Fallout altogether, how early did you come across Tenpenny Tower? And when you met him and he said, I have a ghoul problem I need you to take care of, was it your default expectation that it was feral ghouls? And that feral ghouls, because that's what you run into mostly in the wasteland, and you probably hadn't had too many conversations with non-feral ghouls by that point, your assumption would have been, oh, you've got a bunch of feral ghouls, I just need to go kill them all or something and come back and I'll get some sort of reward, right? And this place seems like a cool place. It seems like a safe place to be. This guy's a human. He seems trustworthy. Like, that was my initial impression, and I'm pretty sure it was designed that way, with that being a potential thing. What do you think, Lainey?
I think that's true. So obviously you will encounter the ghouls trying to get in the beginning, but if you don't have any experience with ghouls, you don't really know what the deal is with them. You don't know if they'll eventually turn feral anyway. Right. That's the other thing. You don't know how they work.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Is once you meet them, you realize they're not feral, but you don't have much experience with them. So you don't know. You don't know if it's dangerous. Like, if I set this up and I allow ghouls and humans to live together, is that even safe? Is that like, what are they going to do? Do they radiate radiation on people if they're nearby? Like, how does any of this stuff work? And so I feel like that's a wonderful, that level of ignorance matches many of the other people's ignorance in the wasteland, because they never really give ghouls a chance. And so it allows you to see things from their eyes. And of course, the more you play these games, the more you meet other ghouls and you learn the way things actually work, the more that can go away. And eventually people love ghouls. But that level of ignorance I find really, really interesting, because it really does match the way many humans in the wasteland actually interact with them, and the things that their fears and the things they assume. So it's really kind of a cool thing, even though it's, not accurate and it's not fair to the ghouls. It is the way people think, because it's the way we think until we are informed more. So I think that's really cool. Yeah. It's just the nature of ignorance, right? The nature of ignorance and fear. It's the way humans are. We work this way biologically because it has kept us safe long enough to evolve to the point that we are now, right? But we live in a world where that's no longer beneficial. But then again, if you were in a world like Fallout where everything's out to get you and the world is a very dangerous place, then wouldn't you be a little more careful? Wouldn't you be like, if you meet someone who's a ghoul and you've already had dozens of feral ghouls try to attack you, wouldn't you be a little, a little PTSD about it? If you didn't really know any non-feral ghouls and realize that they're safe? It'd definitely be frightening. It's a dilemma. Yeah. It's a dilemma. How do I know I can trust you? How do I know you're not going to try to eat my brains? How do I know that those ones that were going to eat my brains don't act like normal people when they're not hungry? Like all of these questions. Yeah. All right. So continue on. There's other ways to solve the quest line, right?
Right. So you can kill all the ghouls, and that will resolve it. Things at Tenpenny Tower go on as usual. You can also help the ghouls negotiate to move in. In order to do this, you have to talk to Alistair Tenpenny. He'll tell you to ask the residents what they think about it. You have to convince all the residents that it's a good idea, and eventually they will move in. If you do this, Roy Phillips, the leader of this non-feral ghoul gang is how it's referred to in the game, he will reward you with the ghoul mask, which I actually referenced last last episode. It's really cool. So lots of people don't end up coming across this because you have to go through all these steps to get here, not just the Tenpenny Tower stuff, but also, you know, maybe the Megaton stuff if that's what leads you here. It's a lot. So some people don't make it this far, and don't even choose this path. So they don't know that the ghoul mask is even a thing, but it's super cool. It's very helpful. You put it on, and feral ghouls just ignore you. They just think you're one of them. They don't care anymore. You can go anywhere you want. It's pretty awesome. Once I got it in the game, I never took it off.
Yeah, I remember this because you were pretty young when you played through Fallout 3 the first time. And creeping through the wasteland is probably the best way I would explain your gameplay at that point. You were very, very careful. You were afraid of anything, and you tried to be as non-confrontational as possible. So when you found that mask, if I recall correctly, you finding that mask led to you playing the game a lot more.
Yeah.
Because you were like, I'm not going to get attacked by these guys anymore. Awesome. And then you played way more than you did before that. Yeah,
there were whole areas that I wouldn't go to because there were too many ghouls.
Yeah.
And so I was very young. I was scared.
Yeah. And so now you were at that point, you were just like, okay, well, I can just walk around and they're not. And for a while there, you were even cautious about it. I remember you were like, I just don't want to get, I'm still not going to get too close to them. Yep. Yeah. Yep. I won't get too close to them because maybe they'll realize I'm not a ghoul. No, they're dumb. They think you're a ghoul. It doesn't matter how close you get. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. It's a great item, especially for me. That was one of the first games I ever really played a lot of. I had like Oblivion was before that, but this was the first one that was like sci-fi,
like role-playing game. Yeah. That you really dove into. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. That definitely affected the way that I play games now in a lot of ways. So it's really neat. So that's two ways that you could go across and figure this stuff out. You can save them, you cannot save them. Alternatively, you can just kill everyone in Tenpenny Tower. I know lots of people like to play games like that and just destroy areas, and you're welcome to do that. If you do that, it will automatically put you at the point of the quest where you can go to Roy Phillips and tell them that they're free to move in, so they can just take it over, which is pretty cool. If you do let them move in with the people there, and you leave, and you come back a little while later, and you go inside, you'll find that there are no more people and that there are lots of ghouls. And you can ask them why there are no people, and they'll tell you that they got in a disagreement and they had to kill them all.
Yes. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've played through all of these scenarios because it's one of those locations on other playthroughs I would make a point to go back to, partly because of my curiosity about what happens with Megaton, because of the tie to Megaton and the bomb, but also because of the multiple potential outcomes and wanting to see what would happen in each. I think I found this whole dynamic very interesting. Like, can they get along peacefully? And after the mid-break, I want to talk with you and then also our live viewers about the ways that they solved this problem initially. What was your first go-to? Because many people will, on multiple playthroughs, will end up doing things that, is against their gut instinct because they just kind of want to see what happens, or they want to play a very different character. But usually your first playthrough tends to be the thing that you're most likely to do if you were in the situation. So I want to talk more about that coming up. Anything else to wrap this up before we move on to other stuff?
Yeah, there's two more little details here about this in general. So, if you go and you kill people in the tower, or you kill Tenpenny because he's atrocious and you want him dead,
he deserves to be murdered.
There's another quest tied to him that will launch you into. So, there's a quest you can start in the underworld with this guy. He's a ghoul. His name's Mr. Crowley, and he basically used to work with Tenpenny and some of the mercenaries that they all work together and wanted to find expensive loot. And so Tenpenny sent this group out to go find things, and the mercenaries wanted more of the share for themselves and locked Mr. Crowley in a room full of feral ghouls, assuming he would die, which he did not. And so now you have to go in and kill them all. And there's a bunch of different ways to solve that quest too. Lots of different outcomes. But if you go ahead and kill Tenpenny separate of it, it'll just launch you forward in that quest anyway. Which is cool. I'll just tell you to go tell him that he's dead. Which is fun. Also, if you do that quest and whether you lie and like convince everyone that you killed those mercenaries, or if you actually kill them, Mad Dog will start talking about how those people are dead on the radio. Because the people that he asks you to kill are very influential people in other areas of the game, like Alistair Tenpenny, and it really affects how the game goes, which is cool. It's a really cool thing. I wish there was more of that in some of the more recent Bethesda games, actually. Yeah,
ties between like the powers that be that aren't necessarily the main people. You know, like not it would be the equivalent of like, oh, you got to off Maxon and then you got to go take out Father. And then like, it's not like that, but like these other influential characters who may not be, say, the heads of organizations that really have a whole lot to do with the main storyline, but are known quantities, you know. That is a really cool feature. I agree.
Yeah. And my last thing is about a little bug in the game where if you have the ghouls move in and they kill everyone eventually, right? Like they do. There's a bug where when you have to go talk to the intercom. Actually, there's two bugs. I just remembered that other one. You have to go talk to the intercom in order to get through the gate every time you go through, right? And when you talk to it, there's a guard that talks back to you, and it's a human, and it continues to be a human even after the humans are gone. This guard doesn't exist anymore, and he still talks to you.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
And then the other one that I just remembered is if you like explode the gate enough, it'll never close. And so you don't have to talk to anyone, you can just walk in.
You just like blow it up?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you blow it up or if I think it just glitches it out.
It just glitches out.
It thinks that it takes damage or something and then it just doesn't move anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I don't know if that means that like enemies can also come through, and I don't know what that means for the ghouls either. But it's an interesting little bug. It makes it so that you don't have to talk to the intercom every single time you walk through. Yeah.
That's funny. Obviously, the glitches in these games are classic. Yeah, I didn't realize the thing about the gate.
The guard. Yeah,
I'm sure there's videos for this that we can look up in the future. Well, cool stuff, Lainey. Thank you for putting all that together and presenting it. We're going to talk a little bit more about this after the break, but we've got some other stuff to cover before that. So let's go ahead and move on with the middle of the show.
Hello there, old chap. Good to see another of General Atomic's finest, still eager to serve.
It's time for that spring reset. I'm taking a look at everything in my closet and figuring out that, oh no, this absolutely needs to go. And it's about time I replace things so that my clothes aren't older than my 15-year-old. Now you might think that they lasted that long because they were well made, but no, they're in terrible condition. Unlike the new jeans I just got from Quince. Jeans have always been my personal go-to because you can kind of wear them for lots of different things, but maybe they're not your thing. Maybe you're looking for, 100% European linen with insanely soft flow knit activewear fabric. It's definitely getting warmer, and their flow knit activewear is moisture wicking, anti-odor, and soft enough that you'll actually want to wear it every day. So pick out what you want. You can't go wrong because they have prices 50 to 60% less than similar brands. And like I said before, they are high quality. I continue to wear their clothes all the time, and I know that these new jeans are going to last me a lot better than the other things in my wardrobe. And on top of it, they look great. They're so comfortable, and I spent just as much on the jeans that I am now cleaning out of my wardrobe. So if you're looking for something better, just all around better, go check out Quince. So go do it right now. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/falloutlore for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. Go to quince.com/falloutlore for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/falloutlore. So here we are in the middle of the show. And first, before we get to thanking our patrons, I want to let people know that after this show, if you're watching on the live stream, and As always, this is Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. If you're watching on the live stream, we will be having another Are You Smarter Than Twitch Chat trivia game. And this week's contestant is Firewriter. And I will be asking in future weeks for people who would like to volunteer as a contestant. You have the chance to win up to 10 Streamloots packs. So you need to be able to be on the stream live with us Monday nights. You need to be a current subscriber to the stream. And that can be an Amazon Prime. They have a new Prime Gaming, isn't that what they're calling it now? Prime Gaming sub is fine too. However you want to subscribe to the stream, you have to be a subscriber. You have to be available. You have to be able to be on video and audio in order to play with us. And that will start as soon as we're done with this episode. And if you are a patron, that will automatically be tacked on to the end of the episode as your extended version of the episode. So the only ways to check this out are either if you're a patron and you want to listen to it, if you want to catch it live, and potentially win prizes if you can beat the contestant by voting for answers that are going to fool them, or by watching the videos that go up on YouTube later. So those are the main ways to check out the show. So stay tuned for that stuff. So here we are in the middle of the show. This is where we thank our patrons. Thank you so much to our patrons. We already have 2 new tier 4 patrons this month who will be joining us at the end of the month to join us on our chat. And it's always a great time. And it's always fun to have new people on there, especially to get their thoughts and opinions about the show and about the lore and the stories of Fallout and their experiences. It's always a good time. So if you're interested in joining us, if you're interested in getting ad-free episodes, if you're interested in listening to extended episodes, any of that stuff, check out patreon.com/Fallout Lorecast for that stuff and become one of these awesome people who help support us and make us able to do what we're able to do. So thank you very, very much. Also, because we just wrapped up the previous month, this week we're going to be reading out some of our reviews to say thank you to those of you who took the time to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. So we've got a few here, and I'm going to get through them pretty quickly. We have Angus Jameson from Canada, who writes, "Amazing show, 5 stars. This show is amazing, but I only have one question to ask. The cargo ship in Fallout 4, far south coast, which is a French raider with a French raider gang in it." That's the question. Why is there a French raider gang in it? Is maybe the question, but that's the way they wrote it. So I don't know. We'll have to look that up. If anybody in chat knows, please let us know. Why is there a French raider gang in the ship in Fallout 4 on the far south coast? I feel like I've read about this before, but I don't remember specifically the details off the top of my head. So thank you for the 5-star review, Angus. Very much appreciate it. Then we have Arisanthony, I think is how you pronounce it, from the US, who wrote, "Thank you, update." They updated this review, so we'll be rereading this one. "I've continued listening and decided to update my review. This podcast is great for anyone who's a fan of the Fallout series. Great lore and the discussions and everything we all love about these games. The only thing I could ask for is more. Thank you. And for new fans, enjoy." Well, thank you for the updated review. That's awesome. Very, very cool. And then we have Sam Zors from the United States, who writes, "Sam B" as the title of the review. Thank you, Sam B. 5 stars. "If you're looking for Fallout lore, look no further. Robots does his research, Robots with zeros, and has a great cadence that is easy and enjoyable to listen to." And I messed up the way I said that, which is ironic. "Truly has brought me back to the series. Love the show. Keep it up." Big old smiley face. Well, thank you very much, Sam Zors, or Sam B. And then one more. "Wow, man, that's pretty cool," is the person's name, from the United States, who writes, "I love your stuff. 5 stars. Just started your podcast and I love it. Please keep up the good work." Smiley face. Thank you very much. Wow, man, that's pretty cool. I think you are pretty cool. Awesome. Everybody, thank you so much for leaving these reviews. It really does help. It really does help our rankings. It helps people know about the show, know that it's a good show, and know what they're going to be in for when they decide to put us in their ear holes. So thank you very, very much for all of that stuff. All right, let's move on with the rest of the show.
If you have any questions about Nuka World, I'd be delighted to answer them.
So let's talk a little bit more about Tenpenny Tower. I want to hear... Lainey, I want to hear about your first experience with the tower, some of what your decisions were, if you recall how you decided to solve the situation there. And I'd also like to hear a little bit more about some of our chat's answers to these problems. And we've got some notes in here, things like NV Courier in chat says that they killed Tenpenny and dropped him off the side of the tower. I think I may have done that on one playthrough also when I realized that you could actually jump off that ledge. Like that's part of the outside world. You aren't like in a little instance encased place that just looks out. You actually could, things fall off the side. I think even the first time I killed him,
he shoots from the tower to blow. Or no, it's just a detonator.
It's just a detonator.
But he does shoot things off the balcony sometimes.
Right. And I think there was one instance where, and again, I'm thinking back like a decade now, but I think there was an instance where I shot him and the gun fell over the side of the tower and I couldn't pick up the gun because it like fell off. I might be making that up, but it might also be real. I don't remember at this point, but I feel like something fell off. Maybe it was the gun. So what are your memories about playing through this section of the game?
Well, I definitely went there the first time because of the Megaton debacle. And I did not want to blow up Megaton, so I don't think I did it on like the main game I was playing, but I did the second time around. And that's when I got to really explore the tower and do all of that stuff. I thought the penthouse was really cool. So yeah, I had a lot of fun there. And then in terms of the ghoul stuff, I really want everyone to get along all the time. And so I play games like that. And it was really important to me that I could get them all to work out. But for some reason, I don't think I did. I remember like I definitely tried and I like went and talked to the ghouls. And I think I went back to the tower and he told me to like talk to all the people in the tower. And I don't know if there's charisma checks in there or if I just didn't try hard enough, but I don't think I did it.
Right.
And I think I just stopped there because I didn't want to kill them.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where like if you didn't have enough charisma, if you weren't leveled enough to really achieve that or to know what to do it, like you kind of came up against a wall. You weren't able to do it.
Yeah, so that's what I remember, but it's been a long time.
Yeah. So this is funny because NV Courier and Firewriter say that they didn't know that they were all going to die. I had the same exact experience my first time. I met the ghouls after being told to eliminate them. I realized that they were regular people who just happened to be turned into ghouls. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe there's a solution to allow these people to live here also and everyone get along, right? Because that seems like the good solution. Let's all be friends. Let's all get along. And if I recall correctly, I felt like I was setting up the situation in order to get them in the tower, thinking that I could then make it to the tower before them and have the opportunity to talk to the people in the tower in order to get them to be okay with the idea that the ghouls were about to show up. I think that's probably the way I thought I could play it. But guess what? You can't do that. By the time and it's like, I'm like, oh, they're still here. I just have to go back through this area and go back into the tower. It's fine. I'll get there before they do. No. Somehow they teleport and they get in there and they slaughter everybody and it turns into mass chaos. And then I felt really, really bad. But then I didn't feel so bad because they were a bunch of douchebags anyway. And I just kind of moved on with my life. Because it's a video game. Now, had that happened in the real world, I probably would have felt really, really bad about that. But yeah, I decided, you know what? I'm going to side with the ghouls because screw these guys. It's ghouls' turn to have place to live.
Screw them.
Yeah. Somebody who was in chat said something like, Nekomata wrote, I sided with the ghouls and killed all those fat faces and fancy fools. Yeah, that was kind of that was kind of the thing. Like at some point I just was like, you know, and they were all kind of jerks and, you know, felt like they were better than everyone else. So yeah, I'll side with the ghouls on that. So yeah, that's the way I went about it. Do you have any other thoughts on this, Lainey?
Other thoughts. I think it's kind of funny to give ghouls fresh water. Right? That's
because they don't need it. Because they can drink radiated water because the radiation doesn't affect them. Or at least it doesn't affect them the way it would humans. It
affects humans, yeah. It's funny to provide them with a space that, like, part of the appeal is that humans can live there.
And then not let humans live there. Yeah. That's a really interesting point. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting point. Yeah. Now, I don't think that I would be okay with the ghouls then lording over the place and not letting humans in either. I think my assumption is like, hopefully you guys learned your lesson and you're not going to be jerks to other people just because they're different than you. And you're going to, even if you killed the people who were there because they were jerks, you're at least going to learn to be nicer to newer people who might show up on your doorstep.
I mean, they're nice to you.
They are nice to you, but
so
you also you did them a favor, right? You're the one who set them up with the opportunity they'd been waiting for in order to take the place. So it makes sense that they'd be cool with you because you did them a solid, but I don't know that they would be like that to anyone else who showed up after that point. And what's unfortunate is I don't think we have an example of that. I don't think we'd know.
Mm-mm.
And even if there's a trader who came by or something that was like automated, it's not like he went to live there. They probably were fine with, trading with him. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, Nicamato says here, you will learn something about me. I hate people who are prejudiced against ghouls. Yeah, I don't like anybody who's prejudiced against anybody, but it also works backwards. I don't think ghouls should be prejudiced against humans. In fact, I think it would be really cool to have some sort of expansion. I've talked about this before for Fallout 76 that allows you to pick different kinds of characters to make and try to interact with the world as if you were a ghoul. I know that would be
really awesome.
That would be a huge update, because you'd have to have new dialogue for so many of the NPCs who are now in the game to react to you differently, because chances are they would. Some of them wouldn't, but some of them would. So you'd have to rework some of that dialogue. You'd also have to have probably different perk cards. If you think about it, like ghouls would have different upgrades than humans, and radiation by default would affect them differently. So you'd have to build out a whole different kind of character class for this to work. An intelligent Deathclaw. Yeah. Or what about a super mutant? A super mutant would be cool too. Or what if you got to be an alien like the Flatwoods monster? Now we're just getting crazy. All right. Well,
I killed a Flatwoods monster today.
Yeah, I heard you ran into some. Did you kill one today?
Yeah, I killed one today.
Nice. On stream?
That's my first one. On stream, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So people can probably go back and look at your VOD and check you out as you do that.
Yep.
An intelligent sea slug. Crystal King has the best ideas ever. If anybody ever needs an idea for a thing, he's the guy to ask. Well, Lainey, this was really cool. Thank you for taking us back to Tenpenny Tower and reliving the wonderful times with a bunch of people who were ridiculously racist, at least in the ways of the wasteland, with each other. Classist.
Yep.
Speciest?
I mean, they are classist.
They're definitely classist.
And yeah.
Yeah.
They got a lot going on. Where
do you think we might go next week? Any other thoughts on other or chat? Where do you think would be a good place to go? I think we've been kind of on this trend with Fallout 3. So other locations in Fallout 3 could work.
Yeah, I've been hopping from each one that makes sense.
Yeah, the Republic of Dave, Rivet City. Yeah, Rivet City is definitely a good one. We definitely have to hit up Rivet City. That's one of the big ones.
Maybe Rivet City will be next week. People keep bringing it up.
Yeah, I think that's after Megaton. That's probably the most well-known city in Fallout 3. Rivet City would definitely be cool. The Kingdom of Tom. I don't think that's a thing. Irafu? How do you pronounce that name? I forget. And the family. Yeah. Nuka-Cola place. A little mini episode. Yep, there's some cool ones that we can definitely hit. Well, cool, guys. Well, thank you for joining us again for the Fallout Lorecast. Stay tuned if you are a patron or if you are on the live show for our game show, our Fallout trivia show called Are You Smarter Than Twitch Chat with our guest Firewriter this week. And Lainey, thank you for joining me. Feel free to jump off once we wrap up the show. And everybody else, stay tuned. Stay tuned for our game show. Don't go anywhere, because you could potentially win some loot crates that have prizes in them. So stay tuned for that stuff. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for being here. Stay safe in the wasteland. We'll see you next time. To plug into everything else we're doing, check out robotsradio.net. Reach out to me on Twitter at robots_radio. Check out the Robots Radio Rocket Club, where you can join me and a bunch of our other creators creating your podcast, starting a new podcast, or helping your current podcast grow. There's more information about that on robotsradio.net as well. And you can always talk with us and the entire community, over 2,000 people on the Robots Radio Discord. Come join us. We'd love to chat with you. See you guys next time.
It's cozy season, and nothing compares to wrapping yourself in a Minky Couture blanket. Luxuriously soft, perfectly warm, thoughtfully made. From movie nights to chilly mornings, Minky Couture turns everyday moments into pure comfort. Once you feel it, you'll understand why it's called the original best blanket ever. Visit minkycouture.com or a store near you and make this cozy season your softest one yet.